To all rise for our national anthem. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Before we get started, let's give a big round of applause for the Oxford High School Chamber Orchestra. Principal Shell, members of the administration and faculty, parents, students, it's my honor and my privilege to welcome you all to the first annual induction ceremony of the Lighthouse National Honor Society of Oxford Virtual Academy. Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Mr. Crane. I am the one that's lucky enough to be the chapter advisor. We have a great program planned for you tonight. We're going to honor all you students tonight that are so well deserving. Before we get started, I want to take a moment and introduce our administration that made this whole thing possible. Mr. Shell, our principal, is right here. We have three assistant principals here tonight as well. Mr. Santala, so we're here tonight to recognize those students who have been selected by our faculty council for successfully completing their candidacy and are being inducted as not only new members of our National Honor Society, but our first members of our National Honor Society. I'm so honored to be here to say that, right? Our first National Honor Society here at Oxford Virtual Academy. To be a part of it is just amazing. Once inducted, students, candidates, you will become a member of a very elite group of students who have not only been successful in your academic endeavors, but you've also demonstrated a commitment to service and leadership. You will become role models, if not already. I mean, most of you are role models already, for other students in the school as well as other members of your community. We know that you will serve in this capacity to the best of your abilities and be outstanding ambassadors for Oxford Virtual Academy as well. So I've been planning this ceremony for a long time, and when planning it, I wanted to have a theme. I wanted some sort of theme to tie into our ceremony. And you know, I thought about patriotism, right? That'd be a great theme. I thought about honoring our past, our present, maybe our future. Thought about maybe history as a theme, but then I thought what's right in front of me is inspiration, right? I wanted tonight's theme to be about inspiration. We have so much inspiration in this room right now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I know our guest speaker is going to talk a little bit about it, and I think Mr. Shell is going to also address that to some extent as well. I was inspired to take this position as chapter advisor by Mrs. Shell and Ms. Mrozik, and actually the whole leadership team. There was an email that went out a long time ago, and it basically just asked if anybody is interested in being the chapter advisor or being involved with National Honor Society. I got that email and I could not respond fast enough. I probably had tons of typos in my response, but this is what I'm looking for. I really wanted to be part of National Honor Society, to work with students such as yourselves. I am inspired by you to be a better teacher, to be a better person. Going through all your packets that you sent in, when you were writing down all the service you've done, all the leadership you've done, your grades, I was truly inspired by that. And I can speak on behalf of the faculty council. I didn't get a vote on who was accepted. That's all the faculty council. They were inspired by you as well. So I thought inspiration was the best theme that we could do tonight. Okay. So what I would like to do now is I would like to welcome Mr. Shell to the podium to say a few words about the Oxford Virtual Academy and about the Lighthouse in general. Mr. Shell.
Good evening. It's truly a pleasure to be here. Just looking out, we founded the school in 2011, and here we are in 2022 with our first NHS induction ceremony. So this is pretty cool stuff. We started out with 268 students, and now we're well over 5,000 with our shared time schools. So I think about inspiration, and I look out at all the parents. Some of you have been here a while, and how much our parents and our students and our staff just inspire me to keep plugging away every year. It hasn't been an easy road. The last couple years have been particularly hard. So when I think about our lighthouse model, and I think about how far we've come and the hard couple years that it's been, we truly created a space for students to thrive. We have students from all walks of life. You can't imagine, just so many different backgrounds, and I think our model was to provide a safe place. And so a couple years ago I kept saying, we're like a lighthouse, it's a safe harbor. Students can come in and find a place to call home in a very unique environment, right? Some people often ask me, why do parents do this school thing at home? What's different? Why aren't they in seated school? And there's a variety of reasons, but I know one thing, that we provide this space for kids to come to, our students to come to and find home, and partner with mentors and teachers and a school community, so we can partner together in education, and you get to do it kind of your own way, right? And infuse your values and your belief system into the kids' education. So we're honored to be that lighthouse, to be that, I look up at the graphic and you see the little sailboat, and that's kind of taken on wings at our school, that we really see ourselves as that. Everybody kind of coming and going, but we're guiding our students along through this process. So that's a little bit about that lighthouse model. But I think being a history teacher by trade, my first love before, I never thought I would go into administration, but the journey to form the Virtual Academy, Mr. Sandel and I in the very early years worked in alternative ed, and out of that came the school, and how there's just so many options, that virtual and online and digital tools are just a tool, right? So we provided a school that we could leverage those tools and create a really cool space. So if I think about history, I was so impressed. I looked online. Other schools, you just they have an NHS, right? They just have one. And for us, it was really meaningful when you start your own. So I pulled off their website. It says the National Honor Society elevates the school's commitment to the values of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. We're going to talk about all that. And you can learn all about those 4 pillars of membership on their website. But today it's estimated more than 1 million students participate in NHS activities. The chapters are found in all 50 states, U.S. territories, Canada, and around the world. Chapter membership not only recognizes students for their accomplishments, but challenges them to develop further through active involvement in school activities and community service. And we know that's what it's all about. As such, NHS chapters and students are in schools that care not only about student achievement, but about community engagement. And that's what I'm so excited about, because so many of you are already doing that, but now that we have this recognized group, and I'm so excited to see what OVA will do. NHS students and their peers volunteer in their communities at the highest rates and make connecting with and serving within the community a priority. So you're here because you're making those things a priority, right? To serve and connect. The average chapter contributes 1,000 hours of school and community service, $26,000 in charitable donations. So I'm going to challenge us this first year. Can we do that? I think we can. We're going to try. We're a small chapter, probably considering other sizes, but I'd like to at least aim high. 1,000 pounds of food to local, state, and national causes, and 100 pints of blood. The average school. So to the history, the National Association of Secondary School Principals officially established NHS in 1921. So we're 101 years old, right? Last year they celebrated centennial. Though many local and regional honor societies existed prior to 1921, and no nationwide organization had been founded. Under the leadership of Dr. Edward Reinierson, principal of the 5th Avenue High School in, anybody know where? First, which state, which city? Take a guess. Close.
Massachusetts.
Close.
New Jersey.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The organization grew from the original Alpha chapter at the 5th Avenue School to more than 1,000 chapters by 1930, within 9 years. Equipped with a constitution, an emblem, a motto, and a group of dedicated principals as coordinators, the new NHS organization quickly developed into one of the country's leading educational groups. So we believe here at OVA that the NHS core values align with our district's portrait of a graduate and our OVA Lighthouse philosophy. And I think you'll find that to be true over the next few years as you get involved. I'm so pleased to welcome you to the first annual NHS induction ceremony. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Mrs. Shell. So you can see how inspired I am in creating the name for our National Honor Society chapter as a lighthouse, and it's because of Mrs. Shell's vision of that lighthouse as you see there. I couldn't think of a better name for our chapter. At this time, I would like to welcome our keynote speaker, talk about inspiration. If you've ever had a chance, and I was fortunate enough to be in the lab one time when this particular speaker was working with a student, and the way he was talking with the student and drawing out the student's knowledge was amazing. The questioning that he did with the student, the passion that he showed for his subject was truly inspiring to me. I really enjoyed. I stopped what I was doing with my work and I just watched. And it was the best 20 minutes that I've ever spent, I think, as far as watching another teacher practice their craft. So this speaker is truly inspiring to me. I would like to welcome Mr. Willoughby to the podium.
Good evening. I'm delighted to be with you at this inaugural Oxford Virtual Academy National Honor Society induction ceremony. Say that 5 times in a row. I'm particularly humbled by the honor bestowed upon me to say something that might resonate with you, that you can take with you along your amazing journey in education. I also hope to impart upon you the importance of preparation, gratitude, and passion, or PGP, if you like acronyms. I'm deeply grateful to the organizers of this memorable event. I'd like to thank our principal, Janet Schell, along with her admin team of Gianna Mrozik, Matt Santola, and Jordan Dennis, for having the foresight to make NHS an opportunity available for some of our best and brightest OVA scholars. I would like to thank our NHS chapter advisor, Mr. David Crane, and our committee members for their tireless efforts to develop the bylaws and visions to help develop our NHS chapter. And most of all, thank you to the inductees and your families for being here tonight and for applying to be on NHS. Indeed, your hard work inside and outside of your education has already begun to pay dividends. But as you know, learning is a marathon, and you are at the beginning of your lifelong journey to not only be successful academically, but to help make our world a better place. Last week, I had the opportunity to get to know some of you a little better when I sent out a survey. Some shared jokes with me, which were hilarious, by the way. For example, what kind of shoes do artists wear? Skechers. Or I could tell you a joke about construction, but I'm still working on it. And my favorite, did you hear about the 3 men who walked into a bar? The 4th one ducked. Love it. So creative, so passionate. But also in the survey, I asked the inductees to share with me people in history who have inspired them. And I asked them to share characteristics that they believe are important to be successful. I look forward to sharing this with you over the remainder of our time together. One of the great things that I love about being an OVA history teacher is having the opportunity to share the remarkable feats and triumphs from people in our past. There are hundreds of examples of people that we can gain insight and inspiration from George Washington's crossing of the Delaware to Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. These people are kind of a lighthouse, if you will, of people that are showing us the way, showing us how to be successful and overcome obstacles. Here are some more inspiring people in history that were recognized by our very own inductees this evening. Susan B. Anthony, for her courage to stand up for what she believes in. I want to be that brave one day. Antonio Vivaldi, because he was a very famous violin player, a musician and composer, whom I admire because his music is a large part of my life. Bob Hoover, he overcame a mental and physical challenge and was rewarded for it. Rosa Parks, she did not give up on what she believed in, even though it was against what most of society believed. And Cleopatra, she wasn't just someone who just sat around all day, but she was a strong woman and probably more capable than half the leaders back then. And history tends to twist history, especially when it comes from women's achievements. History judges women in power on every detail that they've done wrong and not their powerful moves. I'm so thankful for these contributions. I couldn't agree more with your sentiments. And for a few of you, I think you will be delighted to learn that in the person I'm going to speak about next is tied to some of the famous heroes that you mentioned. For every well-known hero, there are often hundreds, if not thousands, who have come before us who are lesser known and unrecognized for one reason or another. Tonight, I'd like to share with you one of these lesser-known persons in history. We might look to her strengths as our own lighthouse on how to achieve great things within OVA, NHS, but also in life. The person whose story I will be sharing with you is Ida B. Wells Barnett. Ida B. Wells Barnett, or Ida B. as I like to call her, was one of those rare diamonds who would have definitely been on NHS if NHS was around during her time. Ida was born enslaved in 1862 in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Her father, James, helped establish a college for newly freed Black Americans in Holly Springs called Shaw University. Given her father's work, Ida B. grew up around people who were successful and trying to build a better society. But tragedy struck Ida's family when she was only 16. While visiting a relative, the yellow fever spread across the region, taking the lives of both her parents and infant brother. After the family's funerals, Ida overheard aunts and uncles discussing what they would do with the 6 orphan children in the household. What happens next gives you a little insight to the person that Ida was and who she would become. Despite relatives telling Ida she was too young, Ida was adamant about keeping her brothers and sisters together. At the same time, she was also cognizant of the fact that she would need their help. In the end, Ida won with a compromise and kept her family together. While Ida's siblings went to school during the day, she would make money for the family as a teacher and attend classes at the university her father helped create. During this time, Ida found her passion for writing, and she began writing and submitting articles to local newspapers. Several years later, she would move to nearby Memphis, where her career as a journalist would take off. As Ida honed her craft, the opportunity arose for her to co-own her very own newspaper, where she would write passionate editorials and conduct in-depth interviews to shine a light on the widespread violence that was being perpetrated upon black people in the South. You see, in general, after the Civil War, Union soldiers remained for several years to help the South rebuild, but also to protect freed persons from retribution. Once the winds of change occurred, however, as they always do, the soldiers eventually left. In the absence of protection, vigilante mobs of angry Southerners would use violent acts designed to inspire fear. These acts were used more as an intimidation tactic against African Americans to assert social, political, and economic control. Similar to Ida's stubbornness to keep her family together, she identified what needed changing and went to work. Ida B. used the power of her pen to write about the injustices that were increasing throughout the South on a very regular occasion. Now, what's remarkable about Ida B. is that she knew the risks of writing about these injustices, but she shined a light upon these darknesses regardless. As a result, she personally paid the price. While she was out of town researching across the South, a bounty was put on her life and her newspaper office was burned to the ground. Ida B. and her family members decided things were too dangerous, and like thousands of other African Americans, she moved north to Chicago to discover a new life. For many, and quite understandably, the story might have ended there, but not for Ida B. Have you heard the phrase, well-behaved women seldom make history? Well, this statement fits Ida B. Wells to a T. Before her death in 1931, Ida B. went on to accomplish many things. She wrote about separate but unequal conditions within segregated schools. She wrote several books, traveled Europe, the northern US, educating people about conditions in the South. She worked with influential leaders to help found the National Association of Colored People. And before Rosa Parks' courageous and now famous action on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, 70 years prior, Ida B. Wells refused to give up her first-class seat on a train when she was asked to move to a smoking section. Ida B. had to be forcibly removed by 2 passengers and the conductor. She sued the Tennessee Railroad and actually won. To say Ida B. was ahead of her time would be an understatement. Now, tonight's conversation with you isn't meant to be a history lecture, though trust me, I'd love to keep sharing stories about Ida B. It's to show you, as individuals, how we can look to those who have come before us for inspiration on ways in which we can make a difference. And in turn, you can use this as a guiding light towards your success. Let's take a look at being prepared. When Ida wrote her articles, she conducted research and undoubtedly wrote several drafts. She had people review her material. So the takeaway, anything that you want to be successful at, you need to be prepared. As this applies to OVA, an NHS, preparing for a test, a concert, a volunteer event, or even just being prepared for a busy day at school. Let's look at gratitude and thankfulness. Undoubtedly, Ida B could have accomplished anything she did without building a relationship with people and a network of friends. Letting those who have helped you, from your parents, your teachers, your family members, and friends, letting them know that you are grateful for their assistance is critical to your success. And finally, passion. If you are able to approach your goals with passion, you'll be able to be successful when conditions are both ideal and when you face adversity. Ida B continuously listened to her heart and addressed what she believed was wrong in the world. She gave her all to accomplish her goals, and believe it or not, she often failed. After she wrote about the poor separate but equal conditions within schools, she was fired. Her printing press was destroyed and she was exiled from the region where she grew up. When trying to help form the NAACP, her efforts were marginalized, mostly because she advocated that women should have an equal seat at the table. Any given person will fail 10 times more than they succeed. All of us here today have failed many times over. But for most of us, we listen to our hearts using preparation, gratitude, and passion to get back up and try again. And to some extent, today is a culmination of our efforts as you all sit here before us. You are the burgeoning lights to our lighthouses, and we can't wait to watch you do amazing things in this world. We are so very proud of you. Congratulations on your induction to the National Honor Society. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Willoughby. I wasn't joking when I said he was very inspirational, and I wish I would have had a teacher like that when I was in high school. Can I take one of your classes now, Mr. Willoughby? Would it be okay if I kind of enroll? Okay.
Absolutely.
I would like to do that. All right, so Mrs. Schell mentions about the 4 principles of National Honor Society, and I think now would be an appropriate time to review those 4 principles. All of the candidates here today have demonstrated exceptional qualities in all 4, otherwise you would not be here tonight. But I think it's important to take the time to review all the 4 standards. These are going to be what all candidates, all members are expected to uphold, okay? So with that in mind, the first guiding principle is that of character, and I would like to invite Mr. Santala to the podium to speak on character.
I didn't know there was going to be a quiz, or Michelle was going to give us a quiz on where National Honor Society was founded. I got it wrong.
You're close.
I did want to take a minute. Like, OVA has grown up a lot over the years, and we started with about 300 kids, about 5 full-time teachers. Many times over in years, we have doubled our staff, doubled our students. The pandemic brought interesting challenges to us, but it also brought us some really great things. David Crane would be one of those things. He talked about listening to Mr. Willoughby in the lab and teaching. I happened to be sharing a wall with him one day, and he was in the conference room on a Zoom, and I could hear him. He was speaking loudly, but I could hear him clearly through the wall, and I stopped what I was doing, and I went into the conference room just to take a minute to observe what he was doing, because he was doing a superb job. And I'm supposed to talk to you about character, but what he talked about is he couldn't answer fast enough. That is character right there. He wanted to provide you guys this opportunity. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. So character is a force within individuals that distinguishes each person from others. It creates each of us It creates for each of us our individuality, our goodness. It is that with no one can respect oneself nor hope to attain respect from others. It is the force of character that guides one through life, and once developed, it grows steadily within. Character is achieved, not received. I think integrity and character go hand in hand. C.S. Lewis said, integrity is the thing that you do when no one is looking. And I think those are one of those things that you just need to take with you as you go through your journey at National Honor Society. Thank you. I promise not to set the place on fire.
All right, thank you for that. The second guiding principle is that of scholarship. I'd like to invite Ms. Mrozik to the podium to discuss scholarship.
Scholarship denotes a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours studying, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for human education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired only in one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past, the torch guiding us to understand the present, and the light that illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship. A wise philosopher once said, "There is no end to education. It is not that you read a book, pass an examination, and finish with education. The whole of life is a process of learning." And learning can be hard, but also wonderful and fun and exciting. So I'm just really proud to be here today to support you in your continued learning journey.
Okay, our third guiding principle is that of leadership. I can't think of anyone better than to bring back up Mr. Schell to the podium to discuss leadership.
Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on a school. In taking initiative in the classroom and in the school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to reach their common goals of success. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a school community or a nation, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is meaningful and substantive change to each of our members. I chose a quote. It's simple. Ken Blanchard said, "Leadership is not about you. It's about investing in the growth of others." So as you all grow in your leadership skills and abilities, that's the key, right? Investing others around you, kind of that leading from behind and supporting each other and growing other people around you. So I wish you well in that journey.
Michelle, our fourth guiding principle is that of service. I'd like to welcome Mr. Dennis to the podium to talk about service.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. My office is service. Service can be established in the routine of a day's work where many opportunities arise to help others both at school and in the community. A willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compensation or public recognition is the quality we seek in our membership and promote for our entire student body. We are committed to volunteering our time and talents to the creation of a better tomorrow. And as Teddy Roosevelt once clearly articulated, while in office, this country will not be a good place for any of us to live in unless we make it a good place for all of us to live in. Thank you.
You. All right, I think it's time to recognize our candidates. All right, could I have all candidates line up over here? Remember how we did it out there? Let's see if we can do that again. Right over here, starting right about right here. You're in the back, you're in the back. All right. Where's Mercy? Mercy's first, yeah. Could I have administration take their spots, please? Each candidate is going to receive a certificate. They're going to get a membership card. They're going to get a membership pin. And super important, they're going to be the first students to sign our official registry at the very end. After you sign that, go ahead and have a seat again. Okay. Mercy Armstrong. Go ahead, Mercy. Come on this way. Yep. Mercy has had experience with organizing blanket making committee to donate blankets to hospitals. She has tutored younger children when she had extra time at school. Right on, go. You want me to read all this? Just kidding. Hadil Bazi. Hadil Bazi showed leadership by starting a new club at school, bringing awareness to autism. She showed leadership while at the Salvation Army. And, sorry Hadil, I can't quite read this.
Remember I told you about that.
Oh, urgent care. Yes, she worked in urgent care. Thank you, Hadil. Hadil Bazi. Emily Cantu. Emily has had experience with coaching her little brother's baseball league, weekly practices, serving at weekly religion classes as an assistant teacher. Victoria Cantu. Victoria has been an assistant coach for Little League as well, and she has also served in weekly religion classes as well, preparing students for their first communion. Gracie Clemens. Gracie has been a civilian group leader in Toys for Tots for the United States Marine Corps. Gracie Clemens. Lillian Frendo. Lillian, I might have to change your certificate if I spelled your name wrong. Just tell me. Okay, all right. Lillian is involved in her youth group leadership, and she regularly babysits for families in need. Lillian. Ethan Garner. Ethan Garner has been a Vacation Bible School crew leader and an altar serving training lead for his church. Lily Holyfield. Lily was a mentor teacher's aide in the Philharmonic Orchestra. She served as a concert master, and she has worked in the nursery at Grace Baptist Church. Emily Lucanville. Emily is on the student servant team for her church, and she is in the student council at her school. China Jade Parton. She is part of the Wellspring Teen Council, helping teen philanthropy, and part of the Civil Air Patriot Cadet Advisory Council. Cassandra Peckins participated in the student council of her homeschool group since freshman year. This year she was secretary. This fall she will be the senior president. And she's also served at her community beach and events in her neighborhood. Olivia Rex Weaver. Olivia has been a volunteer at the Oakland County Animal Shelter, and she has been the assistant market manager at the Rochester Farmers Market. Sadie Strickland. Sadie's volunteer experiences include camp counselor for her church day camp, missions trip to Charlotte, North Carolina, church nursery. She's been a timer for swim meets and helped beautify her local park. Bruce Wilson led flight of cadets, right? Did I say that right?
Led a flight of cadets, yeah.
Oh, led a flight of cadets as a flight sergeant at the 2021 MIWG encampment. I'm not sure what that stands for, Bruce. But that's Bruce Wilson. Richard Wilson. He has shown service throughout the last 2 years with volunteer work to improve the city of Detroit. He has shown leadership through teaching, mentoring, and otherwise instructing kids at his local martial arts place. Thank you, administration. We'll wait for Richie there. I love it. I love it. I told all the candidates out there when we met that I'm so proud of them. I'm proud to be their chapter advisor. Very proud moment. Very proud moment. I need all the candidates to rise. Take your program. At the top, you'll see the National Honor Society pledge. I would like for you all to read along with me. I'll get it started. I pledge to uphold, you guys can read too, the high purposes of the National Honor Society to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands and will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. It is my pleasure to introduce to all of you the 2022-2023 Lighthouse National Honor Society right here. Right. Members, I'm not going to call you candidates anymore. Now you're members. Members, you can be seated. I wanted to close by just talking about what we need to do, right? What's the next step? Now that you're members, what's our next step? Well, we need to elect officers. And I mentioned that in a mailing that I sent out a few weeks ago, that that's one of our first orders of business is to elect officers. If you are interested in any of those positions, I did have somebody contact me and say they are interested in one of those positions, but if you are interested in accepting a leadership role within National Honor Society, please let me know. I will be contacting you throughout the summer and in the fall to organize our chapter meetings. Okay, so we will be having chapter meetings. We will be, we can host those virtually. We can do them on site, but we will work that out together. In addition to having officers, we need to come up with what's going to be our group project, right? What's going to be our project that we can hang our hat on, that this is ours. So throughout these next couple weeks, I would like all of you to give some thought to that. What's something that you feel passionately about, that you feel so strong about, that you would like to be involved, right? What is something that we can do as a National Honor Society at Oxford Virtual Academy that is ours, okay? My goal is not to be up here so much anymore, right? This is your National Honor Society members. You guys will run meetings. Next year, I might sit over there, and you guys get to run the meeting. This is your National Honor Society. I want you to take it. I'm your advisor, right? You guys have all demonstrated the necessary leadership skills to run a National Honor Society. And I look forward to seeing that develop within you, right? I want to see those leaders. So that's coming soon. We will be meeting soon to talk about that. So give some thought to our chapter project. Before we adjourn, I want to make sure that I thank, we did thank the Chamber Orchestra. I wanted to thank the Oxford High School Food and Nutrition Services. They always put on a great display for us. There's still a lot of food there. Make sure you help yourselves before you leave. The OHS PAC staff here that made this possible for us, who set up all the tables and chairs and everything for us. They made this possible. I want to thank the staff behind the scenes. We have a faculty council that I couldn't do this by myself. There's just no way I could do this. This is quite the undertaking. I leaned on the faculty council so much. I sent them emails after emails, and we helped develop the bylaws. We did a lot of work behind the scenes, and the faculty council was someone that I was able to lean on, and that's a group that I need to thank very thoroughly. They're an awesome group of teachers within Oxford High School and Oxford Virtual Academy. So thank you to the faculty council as well. With that, I would like to adjourn this meeting and say congratulations to all of you. And be checking your emails, please. Check your emails. I will be sending out emails to you, talking to you about our schedule of meetings. All right, thank you all for coming.